Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request for Aaron. Thank you so much for that. For those interested requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. It'll be any type of movie review, re-review, thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, random thoughts, streams. We'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. I say we as hey, well, you're on this journey with me if you wish to. And thank you for anyone who's done it. I really, truly do appreciate it. I really do. That's what I'm trying to get 4 or so videos out a day, because I think that's the least I could do for you folks out there, being very nice about that. So thank you. Very generous. But this is The Founder from 2016, which I've seen once before. And the way I felt at the time is how I feel now, where I thought this was okay. I thought this could have been a lot better. I liked Michael Keaton, and I liked his performance. I really liked the two brothers, Dick and Matt McDonald. John Carroll Lynch and Nick Offerman were the actors. And for those who don't know, I'm a sucker for McDonald's, so something dealing with McDonald's story I'm definitely intrigued by. And the story is about Ray Kroc, who at the beginning of this movie, he's selling or trying to sell these milkshake machines. No one's buying them. He's married to Laura Dern, who's in Jurassic Park, among other films. And Michael Keaton is struggling. And during his travels, he'll go to a food place, but it either tastes too long, or it tastes too long and they get the order wrong. Well, one thing leads to another. He is called by his secretary that, hey, they want 8 of them out here in California. He thinks there's something wrong with that. There's no way they would want 8 milkshake machines, but lo and behold, he gets there, and there's Dick and Matt McDonald, and there's one burger place. And that stuff, the early stuff, is very interesting. And before I go on with the plot, just, okay, long story short, Ray Kroc meets with them, chats with them, gets to know their system, says, let's franchise this. They're hesitant. He's adamant about it. He starts franchising, open up here, open up there, and we see how much of a sleazy, slime bag, two-faced prick he is. He makes deals with people, makes deals involving real estate, ultimately put his house up for collateral. One thing leads to another, he gets divorced. He meets with this other lady who's married, Linda Cardellini, who was Velma in the 2002 Scooby-Doo movie. And in this, she's married to Patrick Wilson, the same guy who starred in those Conjuring films. But Michael Keaton gets with her and meets with some people, then deals with more real estate, changes things like from milkshake to powdered to make it cheaper. These are against the wishes of Dick and Matt McDonald, so eventually Michael Keaton buys them out, screws them over, even makes them change their own restaurant name because they'll infringe on the copyright. And completely screws them over. Says, oh, I'll give them residuals. Never did. Got to the top by screwing everybody over. Now, I think before I get into details, the reason I rush through that plot is because that plot is interesting to a point. To a point. When it gets to the endless deals with, I need to start this place up, and then dealing with real estate and dealing with lawyers, and his romance deals with either Laura Dern going down or Linda Cardellini going up, I didn't find this shit that interesting. I think the issue with this film, and again, I think the film's okay. This film should have been from the point of view of John Carroll Lynch and Nick Offerman, the McDonald's brothers. That's what this story should have been about. They should have been the stars. It would have been and should have been their point of view. Michael Keaton could be in it as Ray Kroc, but as a supporting role, not as the star. Because I do think that the more interesting, fascinating, invested story for the viewer is when they tell their story near the beginning to Michael Keaton about the businesses they had before and failed, and then they had a drive-in and things didn't work out the best, and then they had this fast food place and it wasn't going well, and then one of the brothers had this idea of, well, hell, wait a minute, why don't we simplify the menu? Why don't we try to make it faster? What if we get rid of the idea of plates? What if we get rid of the idea of bringing it to your car? That stuff is rushed through, and I'm like, you're rushing through the more interesting part of the story, of how this idea came about, of how the working out the environment, the structure of one brother is writing chalk and has the other potential workers. Okay, there's a system. Wait, that's not going to work, so let's move this here. Wait, that's still not going to work. Oh, you got to do this. No, there's a system. You got to do this, this, and this. No, that's not going to work. Okay, let me change this once again with the chalk, the training, then persistent on quality control. Like, or how did they come up with the golden arches? Like, there's a painting, and Michael Keaton goes, what's that? Oh, it's a design one of us had. Always wanted to do it. I haven't quite do it yet. It's an arch. Golden arches. Like, wouldn't it be more interesting to hear how one of the McDonalds thought of it? Now, of course, a lot of biopics, they indulge. So maybe you would indulge and they saw something, or they were reminded of something, or something from their childhood, or something they caught randomly and it popped. Like, that would have been interesting to see. The beginning thought process of that. The process going from one restaurant to this fast food, and they had this premiere, but then it was a learning curve, and as they put it, we underestimated the learning curve for the public, which that is God honest truth. Sometimes people act really fucking stupid when they shouldn't. How it gained steam. Because that would have been a good underdog story with these two people that deserve more recognition, because they deserve more recognition because they're the ones who really made it. There would not be McDonald's without those two guys. There wouldn't. Instead, we're giving more faculty to the guy who's a fucking criminal, a thief, a piece of shit that stole everything. Now, by the end, you realize how much of a piece of shit he is, but still, he still got the main focus. Even in death, the McDonald's couldn't get the spotlight. It was the founder that got the spotlight. So he's still getting the fucking spotlight. Because the movie's not about the McDonald's, it's about Ray Kroc of shit. And that's my issue, is that it should be more about the McDonald brothers. And then, like, midway through, you bring in Michael Keaton. And we see from their point of view, like, they're busy doing well, but they hear things. They hear about this, they hear about that, they try content. What's going on here? How it affects their lives, how it affects their business, how it affects their mental state, how it affects what's going on. And you see a little bit of that when one bro's getting a bit more angry than the other, and the other gets into this, I think, like a diabetic affliction. Like, he passes out, he gets to the hospital. Eventually, that's around the time where Michael Keaton gets the idea of buying these guys out. But like, it would have been funny if the McDonald brothers, like, we're not going to do this powdered milkshake, and then they try it, and it tastes all right. No, this is bullshit. There ain't no milk in this milkshake. And because it's when the brothers are arguing with Michael Keaton that I think sometimes it gets a bit more lively. But like, Michael Keaton's home life with Laura Dern, I don't give a fuck about. Michael Keaton trying to get in Linda Cardellini's pants, unless I'm getting Linda Cardellini's pants, I don't give a fuck. And him doing these dealings, dealing with Patrick Wilson, dealing with this guy, dealing with this lawyer. I didn't find that intriguing entertainment. That didn't pull me in. I wasn't fascinated. I think that shit was boring as fuck. Also, sometimes it felt as if Michael Keaton's character was just kind of evil, just when the script kind of wants it to be. Just at the beginning, you see that he seems very nice and, oh wow, that was quick. And it's family-friendly environment, and it feels like he's kind of gung-ho about what they want. He even agrees with the brothers, is like, no, this is not quality, okay? What kind of sandwich is this? He even walks on a golf course, is like, what kind of sandwich is this, okay? This is a shit sandwich. You know, he doesn't say it, but I would say, this is a shit sandwich. Why don't you eat it? Because you're full of shit. But he seems like gung-ho about the quality control. So when he turns into this now unscrupulous, conniving jerkwad, it felt like it just kind of did it just because it was that part of the movie where he has to be. And I just didn't feel... I mean, I guess you can infer he's looking at the numbers and he's looking at he's not getting as much money as he should and his bills are piling up and that's supposed to be when he turns, but I don't know, it felt a bit empty when I don't know. It just wasn't as... I'm not going to say intense, but it just wasn't... Well, it wasn't intense, but it just wasn't that fascinating of a switch. Like I said, I mean, I guess I can get it, but it just wasn't as satisfying of a switch to see. I don't know how else to put it, man. It just, oh, no, he's a bad guy just because he has to eventually be that guy. And yes, we do get the idea that he has ambitions. And he's not the nicest guy because he doesn't treat his wife Laura Dern the best. So I guess you could say there's still some nuggets that will lead into him acting that way. But like, at the end of the day, I don't think Ray Kroc, he's not interested enough to center a whole film on. He's an interesting piece of the puzzle, but I don't think he's the face of the company. He's not... I don't think his character should have been the star of the movie. I do think the John Carroll, Lynch, the Offerman as the McDonald Bros, they should have been the stars of the movie. It should have been their point of view. And just see how things are changing, time is changing, just like actual time period, but the whole business is changing. The in a weird way, you know how looked at the mom and pop video store and then Blockbuster comes in, kind of that same mentality, only more so because he literally did steal the idea and stole the name. I mean, Michael Keaton's character even mentions how, yeah, I could have stolen it and copied it, but I wanted your name. And you really do feel sorry for these McDonald's brothers. You really do. Because they got screwed over. When they're saying, this is not your company, we came up with it, and then Michael Keaton goes, I come up with the concept of winning. Business is war. And pretty much you got to suck it up and deal with it. Because we're not in the burger business, we're in the real estate business. And so he pays him, what, like $2.7 million? But if they followed with the residuals, they would have gone like $100 million a year. Which, of course, they didn't. So, screwed over in death, and even this, they kind of got screwed over. I don't know, I guess, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's the thing though. This film came out and didn't really do anything. I mean, when this film came out, it barely did anything at the box office. It barely made any money. Award circuit wise, it didn't really do anything. I don't remember any nominations or anything. It definitely didn't hurt McDonald's stock or McDonald's business. So this is just a film that people go, oh yeah, that movie exists. I'm sure there's people watching now going, I didn't even remember that movie until you mentioned it now. Did you hear nobody talk about this? And again, John Lee Hancock, he's made films I enjoy. The Blind Side, despite the controversy afterwards, which I'm not going to get into. That could be another 20 fucking minutes. About the real life story and all that. But it's like, goddamn, man. I say that. I think at the end of the day, the opening, the initial, seeing the old design of the McDonald's and the system at work, and I'm like, damn, it's fast. I'm like, it's not that fast nowadays. The McDonald bros would be very pissed at the way McDonald's is now. Just, they ain't that fast now. Fuck no. And they also get your order wrong at times. So they definitely don't go for the fast efficiency. Although, hell, with this McDonald's at the beginning, there was like 50 people. Well, there was like 20 people back there. I'm like, if you go to McDonald's now, you're lucky if you find 4 people back there. 1 at the counter, 1 at the drive-in, and then 2 back there. The drive-in will do sit with the fries once in a while. Just like I like McDonald's. I've been there from quite a few times. And actually, I remember a guy on YouTube, Sally. I don't know what happened to him. I hope he's doing okay. But Reese, the Reese 007, very nice guy, very cool guy. Would watch his videos. Sally, not much of his videos are up anymore. Like, his channel's up, but he's been gone for years. If somehow, some way, some shape, some form he ever sees us, I hope you're doing well, man. We miss you. But yeah, the Reese 007, I know he worked like a manager, or he was like an upper at McDonald's. I know he was like upper level. I can imagine he'd have a lot of stories about that. And I will be honest, that's one of those I was thinking of, like, man, I miss that guy. I hope that he's doing well. Again, the Reese 007, if somebody sees this man, some people are like, who's that? He was a really cool, nice guy from years back. Hope he's doing well, man. Anyway. Sorry, my train of thought lost. But yeah, that definitely ain't that fast nowadays. Every time you order, it takes you 10 fucking minutes to get your damn thing. Here, they did like 30 seconds. I'm like, I wish it was that fucking fast. Is it? That's the weird thing. Like, every fast food, not just McDonald's, Burger King, like, you look at the reviews and everything's like 2 out of 5 stars. Or 1.5, or 2.5, or 2, or 1.5, 1 3/4, whether it be Kentucky Fried Chicken or... No, there are no 5-star, 4... There's no 4 or 5-star fast food places. If there are, then you better be... You're one of the lucky chosen ones. But this early one, that's like a 5-star fast food. I'm like, goddamn. But again, they had like 20 fucking people in the back. No wonder it was so fucking fast. I wonder how the hell you afford all 20 of them. Have that shit for the McDonald's today and other fast food places today. I mean, that is going off, well, not off too off topic, but it's funny they actually bring that up, the two brothers, about how one of the issues with fast food is people waiting and how long it takes for people to wait. And that is a factor. And I do think if you actually did fix that, where people could get their food, and the spread of like, oh wow, but this place is really fast. Like no matter what, they're really fucking fast. It would get more business. Just what people don't like, they don't like fucking waiting for 10 fucking minutes. Now granted, I mean, compared to other places, 10 minutes is still fast. In terms of like, if you go on a actual restaurant, you're waiting 40 minutes, 50 minutes to get your dinner out. Well, I mean, hell, you're waiting 40, 50 minutes, then yeah, 10 minutes would be fast, but that's not what it's supposed to be. Anyway. I'll be honest, I never worked fast food. I would be too annoyed. Because I'd be too annoyed with the speed. Because I like taking my time on shit. I'm not much of a cook, even fast food, and I'd be so just snappy at customers. Like, fuck you, I'm gonna give you special sauce. Use your special sauce. Get the fuck out of here. It's white for a reason. It ain't fucking mayonnaise. It's my mayonnaise. I'm a man, there's the nays out of my dick. Here you go. Shut up. Or I'm gonna put a french fry in your fucking mouth and it's this thick. Thickest french fry you ever had. Does it sweat like it's fried? I just had a French shit, suck it. So it's a french fry, suck it. Anyway. As I was saying with the founder, Michael Keaton, I think he did a good job. He usually does a good job. He's a great actor, from Beetlejuice to Batman. Clean and Sober, which actually that's a request coming down the road, thanks to Ben, to rewatch and review that. Great actor. This one, though, like I said, the beginning was interesting, the ending was somewhat interesting, but the middle, all the financial stuff and real estate stuff and lawyer stuff, love life of Ray Kroc of shit, who gives a shit? To repeat one last time, because I know I always repeat shit, it's just a bad habit I can't break. If the McDonald guys were the leads and focus on their story, it'd be a tragic story, but I think that really would have been more effective as a story, as a narrative, emotion-wise. I think maybe it could have garnered more. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it could have garnered more talk. Maybe not. I don't know. But it would have been a more intriguing movie to me. Because the brothers, the stuff they were doing and saying were the more interesting parts. Them creating the first, changing their model. It'd be cool, like, how they came up with the ideas and how they came up with, like, the whole thing with how they put the ketchup and mustard on. And Michael Keaton, what's that? Oh, I created it. Yeah, it would have been nice to see and hear how you created it. What made you think of it? How did it pop in your head? Same with the arches. What made you think of the arches? Was there a point that the brothers saw the arches and the first reaction to the arches? When their business was down, did they ever go to an actual... Like, how... Think about how vivid of a scene that could be. That the brothers, after all this, a year or so later, whatever they're doing, they go to a McDonald's and they see the arch and they see the food and they're trying the food and they're eating the food, and you just see all the busy work. They just see how busy people are and how busy things are, and the cameras, these two brothers trying to eat their food, heads going lower and lower down as the cameras pan back. And for that Happy Meal place of the world. And people are like, yeah, they're goofing and they're having their, not quite macking me, but. And these two figures getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And like, no one knows that these two people are created all this. And none of them know. And some of them probably will never know. And actually, this may be goofy, but if their heads are turned down, what does that... I didn't even think about this. It's not a heart, but it's an M. Like the arch, like McDonald's. Like maybe they're doing this, and... If you don't want to do that, just, people could maybe visualize it or something. It pulls back, and then, you go to credits. I like that. Oh, man. That could have been an effective way to end the film. That's what I mean. Like, their story's more interesting, not Ray Kroc's. Now, he's an essential part, but I think that's a supporting character. But, yeah. That's just the way I look at it. Ray Kroc shit. But what did? It was an okay watch, but I would never see it again. Unless there was a request. So with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.